Ancient Egypt. There is an endless fascination for its achievements immortalized in the monuments and treasures they left behind. My exploration of this unique cultural landscape has left me wanting to see more. And this time, I thought of bringing along some company. Join Asian Air Safari as we get lost in history's most enduring cities, from Lower to Upper Egypt, exploring places both familiar and unfamiliar, together with some cherished friends. Egypt is a place I enjoyed exploring so much that I decided to share my experience with some close friends and bring them along for an adventure. This time, we planned on covering more ground, starting from the tip of northern Egypt, Alexandria. We will be sailing down to its southern frontier of Aswan, close to the Sudanese borders in Abu Simbel. Our 11-day journey begins with Egyptian hospitality and familiar faces.
Thanks for bringing your friend back to Egypt here.
We had so much fun. I thought I'd have to bring all my friends and share the beauty of your country.
Thank you so much.
It's really great. Thank you for coming.
Thanks to Aziz, our local Egyptologist, and Mina, who helped us organize the tour, our small band of travelers are looking forward to an adventurous yet productive journey that fulfills the senses and cultivates the mind. And what better way to start this wondrous journey than to board the Asian Air Safari bus and head out to our first stop, Alexandria. One of history's greatest rulers, Alexander the Great, has made an astounding impact on the city that bears his name and to the rest of Egypt. He created the largest empire in ancient times, spanning from Greece and Egypt to parts of India.
Alexandria was once a great capital of Egypt. Today, most of the city has been buried underwater because of erosion and earthquakes.
Because of this, evidence of the city's former glory remains as one of the world's greatest mysteries. One of them is the destruction of the Great Library of Alexandria. Since there are no architectural remains or archaeological finds so far, the events leading to the fate of the library has yet to be concluded.
Since ancient times until today, Alexandria is considered the center of knowledge and education in the region.
Today's Biblioteca Alexandrina commemorates this sentiment. Built to reestablish Alexandria's position for scholarly and cultural pursuits, the library now stands as a modern monument that represents what the city aspires to be and what the city once was. Another mystery is the location of Cleopatra's tomb. Alexandria was Cleopatra's world where she lived, loved and died with her beloved Mark Antony. The search for Cleopatra, however, has reached outside her world, but she remains nowhere to be found. Today, despite modernization, Alexandria has maintained a sense of preservation, making it seemingly trapped in time. This shows in historical areas like Pompey's Pillar, an impressive site that reflects the history between the Egyptians and the Romans.
This monument was built by the Egyptians as a sign of gratitude to the Romans for not collecting higher taxes during the time of famine.
The imposing pillar is the largest Roman column built outside of Rome and Constantinople. A stone's throw away is another ancient site, the catacombs of El Sukafa. According to the legend, the catacombs were accidentally discovered by a donkey in 1900. Because of the time period it was built, what's interesting about the tombs is that they merge Roman, Greek, and Egyptian cultural elements, even evident in the clothes worn in the drawings.
Two Egyptian goddesses, they were dressed like in the Greek and Roman dresses. One of them, she has two banana tree leaves and she's hovering over the dead person. This movement bringing the man from the dead.
Of course, what made Alexandria the perfect melting pot in the ancient Mediterranean was its location. The sea has always been giving.
Since Alexandria is close to the Mediterranean Sea, we're always sure to have fresh seafood. How is your fresh seafood?
Today, this ancient city remains to stand as an Egyptian capital. It is the Egypt of yesterday and today, and the northern gateway to the land of the pyramids. Up next, after exploring Alexandria, we now make our way down to Cairo, walk its old Islamic city, and experience the grandiose pyramids firsthand. We made our way to sprawling Cairo. The city of more than 9 million has stood on the same spot for 1,000 years, with the present built over its past. If Alexandria is steeped in Greco-Roman influences, Cairo is the emblem of Islamic culture when Egypt was conquered by the Ottomans in the 16th century. By the 19th century, Egypt was ruled by Mohamed Ali Pasha, who founded a dynasty. Looming over the metropolis is the majestic mosque that he built to crown the citadel of Cairo. Also known as the Alabaster Mosque, the Mohamed Ali Mosque is a masterpiece of Islamic religious architecture.
Have you ever wondered why there is an Egyptian obelisk in the middle of Paris? This was an exchange gift between Muhammad Ali and the King of France. In exchange for that, King of France gave a clock tower, which actually never worked, and a chandelier inside the mosque.
Egypt's history is an interesting mix of foreign invasion and siege. But it was Muhammad Ali Pasha who would establish the roots of what Egypt is today. Egypt's early Islamic past can be seen in Cairo's historic districts, also known as Islamic Cairo. It was a very educational walk along the city's old streets. We passed by a concentration of mosques, madrasas, and caravanserais, beautifully preserved over time. And of course, a walk in this World Heritage cultural site will not be complete without a visit to the Khan El Khalili Souk, where time also seemed to stand still as we waited for the ladies to finish shopping. But for a place like Egypt, all roads will lead you to a walk to the Egyptian Museum of Antiquities. It was all very fascinating for everyone, and I was happy to share some of the things I've learned from my previous visits.
So, this is Ramses III. I was explaining earlier, how do you differentiate a statue that's living or the statue that's dead? Statue that's living, the left foot is always forward. And up to today, march is left, 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 right, left. So they were marching to battle, and they like to look like they're very strong and young. And they normally hold their arms, sign of being a warrior. So every time they come up with a statue, it would normally be like that.
Each item deserved a closer look, as the wonders of the ancient Egyptian culture are endless.
Well, this one is a very unusual stone. It is not black granite as we think it would be. And according to them, this is a stone that probably came out of a meteorite. If you take a look, it was shaped like a pyramid. The way it was carved was very precise, and you sometimes wonder how they are able to do it.
One of the most incredible displays in the museum are the treasures from King Tut's tomb.
The man who discovered the tomb of King Tutankhamun, he was an English archaeologist called Howard Carter. He opened the lid of those 3 layers of the golden coffins. He said that the mummy was there and a golden mask. The weight of that mask, another 10.5 kilograms of gold. And then he removed the mask. It was jewelry, necklaces, bracelets, earring, fingering, all made out of gold.
It's interesting how all these treasures can be found inside the royal tombs. These discoveries took us further back in time to the age of the pharaohs. Just 30 kilometers south of Cairo, we made our way to the Saqqara Pyramid Complex. We explored the pillared temples, which served as sites for making offerings and conducting rituals. The whole complex, which was the size of a city, was dedicated to the dead. Despite the site's seemingly morbid purpose, it was made to be stunning and impressive. Hence, the construction of the first stone pyramid in the world by the vizier Imhotep to serve as the tomb of Pharaoh Djoser. It was great to be able to stand next to this ancient monument, the beginning of an ambitious construction program that would culminate in the pyramids of Giza. But first,
We gave everybody an air safari shirt so that it fits very well when they go out into the desert and look for adventure.
saving that for last, we made a few stops around Cairo first, getting to know the ancient ways. The weaving of rugs in Cairo was believed to be introduced during the Mamluk dynasty, when Egypt came under Islamic rule. This school in Cairo not only gave us a demo on how Egyptian carpets are made, they also let visitors have a try on carpet making. From carpet making, we head out to a short lesson on Egyptian perfume. Perfume making was well documented in ancient carvings inside temples and tombs. In addition to its fragrance, these perfumes and oils are also recognized for their health benefits. Who would have thought that sampling the perfumes of the ancients can be so much fun? Finally, it was time for us to see and marvel at the last remaining wonders of the ancient world: the Great Sphinx and the Great Pyramids of Giza. Whether it's up close or from a long distance, the pyramids are still a sight to behold. Next to a human person, you will really see the incredible size of each stone used. everyone enjoyed just appreciating the extraordinary shape, amazing accuracy, and inherent mystery of these structures. Ancient Egypt's compelling application of science, engineering, organization, and might, along with their colorful beliefs, come together in this awe-inspiring sight. Up next, from the upper regions of Egypt, we now make our way south to the royal necropolis of Luxor while aboard a dahabeeyah boat sailing down the Nile. From the hustle and bustle of Cairo, we continue to explore south for more of Egypt's historical and cultural marvels. Speaking of exploring, the River Nile beckons to a number of adventurous possibilities. This is probably the best way to see Egypt, aboard a dahabeeyah cruising down the Nile, docking at interesting sites to fill in our curiosity. There are boat tours available along the Nile, but this time, we opted to charter our own dahabeeyah for the rest of our tour along the river.
For the next few days, we will be sailing across the Nile. Everyone will start feeling like a pharaoh and a queen.
Having our own boat allows us to go at our own pace, hanging out by the deck to appreciate the nice river breeze. Of course, we also had the boat's comfortable spaces and amenities all to ourselves. I wonder how I will sleep tonight.
Well, this is my room for the next few days. Nice decor, nice bed, and of course, a nice view.
Ah, isn't this something? I look forward to sleeping with the waters of the Nile just on the other side of my room. But before settling for a day of rest, it's time to fuel up for more things to come because lunch is served. The boat is fully staffed, from the decks to the kitchens, which means you can expect a banquet at every meal. It was a real privilege to see Egypt this way, as we glided through this life-giving body of water. It was as if we were part of the story it has told for many lifetimes, of man and nature, man and the gods. And suddenly, like a mirage in the desert, we behold the grand city sitting by its banks, the city of Luxor. Luxor emerged from the Nile to be one of the greatest capitals in the ancient world. A carriage ride around the old city gave us a closer look at life in modern-day Luxor, from its idyllic countryside to the bustling markets. But in the midst of present-day concerns, we find temples built 4,000 years ago, still inspiring awe and wonder to everyone who visits. Our first stop was the Temple of Karnak.
I love Karnak myself, and I call it the history book of Egypt. Every single step you do in Karnak, you will see a history of somebody, of 100 years of Egyptian history recorded in front of your eyes.
It is one of the largest religious complexes in the world, so exploring it on foot can be quite daunting. But everybody enjoyed soaking in all the rich symbolisms found in the remarkable architecture. The sprawling complex is dedicated to the god Amun-Ra, who sometimes takes the form of a ram representing strength, or sometimes as a scarab beetle representing new beginnings. Legend says that those who circle this giant granite scarab 7 times will never see misfortune in their love life. I didn't realize everybody needed luck in this department. Connected to the Temple of Karnak is the Temple of Luxor, said to be where Egyptian pharaohs were crowned. Here, we saw the lone obelisk, with its twin now in the streets of Paris. The Opet Festival is held in this temple every year, a celebration of rebirth and transfer of power between the king and the gods. We made our way to the west bank of Luxor, the city's land of the dead, filled with tombs and temples dedicated to the afterlife. Aziz first takes us to one of the most compelling sites in the area, the mortuary temple of Queen Hatshepsut. Carved directly into the mountains, the modern-looking building is a testament to the power of Egypt's first female pharaoh. Crowning herself king, her statues depict her with the pharaoh's beard and headdress. 3,000 years ago, it wasn't unusual for women to rule kingdoms. I bet these ladies who rule their households would heartily agree. Our next stop did not have any magnificent structure to be seen. It seemed like we were just visiting piles of rubble in the middle of the desert. But most of Egypt's riches lie below the surface. This is the Valley of the Kings.
We have 64 tombs in a valley here. Longer reign for the pharaoh, it will give a chance for him to have a massive long tomb. Shorter reign mean small size tomb. So keep in mind, size of the tomb will reflect in a way the reign of the pharaoh.
One of the most exciting things to do in Luxor is to visit the royal tombs dug deep into the ground. And I can't wait for everyone to be amazed at what they will find inside.
Now girls, this is the steepest tomb here in the valley, and this belongs to the 11th son of Ramses II. Come and take a look.
Let's go. Go.
Now when we say deep, take a look at that.
As we went deeper, we found beautifully preserved artworks, inscriptions on stone, and a massive sarcophagus. We can just imagine the treasures we saw at the museum filling all these cavernous spaces. Even to this day, the Valley of the Kings continues to slowly reveal its secrets, a layer of sand at a time. From Luxor, our journey continues south. We can see another mark of the journey as our boat approaches Esna. The Nile locks on this part of the river connect Esna to the Aswan region. As we leave behind the northern portion of the Nile, we look forward to another set of adventures ahead. Now that we are halfway to our journey, I am glad to see that my good friends are having an incredible time visiting Egypt's famous landmarks and experiencing a cruise on our private dahabeeyah down the Nile. What we have seen so far is just the surface of an archaeological site that needs some more digging. So join us in the next episode as we explore more of Egypt, from the city of Esna to the borderless beauty of Abu Simbel in Aswan.
This has been your captain, Joy Roa. See you in the next Asian Air Safari! Yoo-hoo!